On ENCA, this is Mags on Media, and some brand news in brief now from around the globe. Barack and Michelle Obama have signed a multi-year agreement with Netflix, which will see the famous presidential couple produce films and series for the company. And as we get ready for the winter chill, retailer Macy's in the United States is celebrating a return to summer with a whimsical, visually impressive spot created by the BBDO agency in New York.
Just look at me. When you wear your high boots with your hip hugger seat, it's all right. You're out of sight. Would you believe, little girl, that I'm crazy about you?
Beverage company Schweppes wanting to shine a light on sexual harassment in Brazil by designing a touch-sensitive dress. Designed by Ogilvy Brazil, the dress uses sensor technology to map impressions on the body from physical interactions. The results, as you're about to see, are shocking.
A partir do momento que eu falo não pra você, eu acho que você tem que sair.
Ele simplesmente cruzou a minha frente e me agarrou.
Quem que vai sair numa quinta-noite pra dançar?
Eu acho que é o verdadeiro mimimi de tudo.
A gente construiu um vestido todo sensorizado e a gente consegue, através desse vestido, mensurar, no caso das mulheres vestindo ele dentro de uma balada, o quanto elas são assediadas através do toque. E a gente passa essa informação via Wi-Fi para uma central de controle, que faz com que a gente entenda isso em tempo real e dê, na verdade, uma visão de quanto elas são assediadas.
Vai ser legal de ver e de poder mostrar isso depois para as pessoas. Até para conscientizar e para tentar parar isso, né?
Toda mulher já sofreu assédio na vida, mas não tem uma ilustração real do que realmente acontece.
Vamos começar?
Pode, né? Ah, não vai dançar não. Vai ser chato, hein?
A mulher não é um bicho que precisa ser encurralada para ser capturada.
Tenta chegar numa boa, conversar sem tocar. Eu sou uma pessoa interessante. Vale a pena você parar 5 minutos e conversar comigo.
So as everything around us changes, so do marketing approaches to meet the needs of today's consumers. The Connected Marketer is a marketing advisory and educational marketing services company in the United Kingdom, credited with training thousands, I'm told, of marketing executives for big players like Coke, Unilever and Adidas. Booyah is an African-inspired educational marketing services company. Its training is aimed to get marketers future fit. I like that phrase, future fit for Africa. Paul Burney is with us, founder of Connected Marketer, Carmen Murray, founder of Booyah, and they're teaming up, we're told, to train Africa's marketers to market successfully in this age of connected individuals and connected brands. To both of you, a very warm welcome. Paul, you're the visitor, so let me start with you first of all. How does marketing these days need to change? You make the point that as everything around us changes, so does marketing need to change in order to adapt to the needs of consumers. Where's the paradigm shift?
Well, I think it is basically around the fact that we are now connected individuals. You used the words connected consumer or connected customer in the intro, but actually I think we're just more connected individuals. We know we're constantly connected. We have more devices and sensors in our lives that enable us to be constantly connected. I think that puts us in a mental state of connectedness and awareness of our digital selves at all times, and that's changing our behaviour. And so what marketing has to do is to adapt to this world where a connected individual, I feel, is someone that constantly has a means of being connected to their digital selves and wants to, but can do it in micro moments.
Carmen, I would say also a mental state of anxiety sometimes because we're so hyper-connected at the moment. What's your understanding of this word connection then, and how do you make the fit with this very savvy, very wired consumer?
I do believe that with a very savvy consumer that we definitely as marketers need to start adapting to this whole paradigm shift happening around us. And I think that we are just being introduced to all of these new technologies all the time, and keeping up with the pace is almost impossible. And I think that it's paramount to lay the foundations right in order to become future fit so that we can best serve this customer in the future.
So what are those foundations then that the new marketer needs these days?
For me, it's partly about this understanding of this individual, but then it's about saying, OK, how do we create total brand experiences that merge together digital, physical, emotional, even sensorial experiences? Because for the individual, there's just one experience. Everything I do and every way I engage with a brand.
In a time-pressed economy, because we're not going to give you that much time either, are we?
Attention is a finite resource, if we like put it that way. So you're going to have a challenge of saying, when would be an appropriate time for my brand to engage with this connected individual? How do I make that brand experience merged and synchronized so that the individual doesn't experience a jarring difference between visiting you in store or going to your branch or downloading your app or going to your website or getting messages from you.
And Carmen, it seems so obvious, doesn't it? But yet so many brands just fail to get the basics right in this respect.
100%.
Why is that?
People think that because you have an omni-channel that you have a presence everywhere. And I think it's important that everything needs to be synchronized. Every single platform that you're on needs to talk to one another in order for you to know exactly where you need to serve your customer. And I think when you have those foundations separate, it makes it very hard for you to be, agile and adapt accordingly.
So what exactly then do you offer brands? And then we can look at the lock between your company and what you're going to do in South Africa. So, I'm a marketer. I need to be more synergistic. I need to be more connected. What do you do?
We help educate, guide and advise. It's that simple. We don't do the execution of the work. There are plenty of brands, agencies and technology companies that can do that themselves. But we do it from a completely neutral perspective. We have lots of international experience of working with hundreds of brands around the world. And what we try to do is to offer the best advice on, here's how this new technology fits. Here's how that fits within marketing as a whole. This is how your marketing needs to change to take advantage of that, and what the expectations are of your connected individual audience. And then we kind of advise on the strategy of that. What we don't do is get into the execution of which specific technology company should I work with, or which companies outside, which agencies might help me do that. The brands that we work with tend to value that independence and neutrality very heavily.
And I'm assuming that we have exactly the same set of problems in this country. How does that fit work between your two organisations?
So very importantly is Booyah is African-inspired and also coming from a background of technology. I think that it's important that we adapt everything and all the learnings from the Connected Marketer to our environment and our conditions around us. And hence, we decided to collaborate in order to make an impact in Africa and training individuals on what technology and how you can make it all fit within and to become a connected brand as such. Also with Booyah, I do believe that education needs to evolve. We've been seeing education the same way as it's always been. So that whole thing of Socrates styling in the front of the room has to change. So it's very collaborative, fun, tech play hours, and really getting people to solve problems whilst we are educating them.
Paul, you spoke about understanding all the different platforms and how they come together, but isn't it fundamentally just about brands understanding the value of the data that they have, the interpretation thereof, and its best utilisation? Get that right and you've nailed it.
I would say that's partly right.
Yeah.
Fundamentally, you still need to start with understanding the needs and the wants of your target audience. That's marketing 101. What's different today is that we have so much more data available to us. If you like, that data produces kind of digital signals which we can interpret that help us understand not just simple demographics, but understand people's emotions and sentiments and desires and interests. And so we can take all of that and build a much better understanding, much more thorough understanding of what people want. Because eventually people get to a point where they want something individual to them.
What worries me about all of this is that it's aimed at marketers, but isn't there something common that should be aimed at the entire company? These days, the prescript of brand building is not the purview of just the marketing department, is it?
No, definitely. Paul and I have actually had a lot of discussions about that this week, specifically as building a connected brand and then a connected consumer, the connected individual.
But also a connected company.
And the connected company, exactly. And how all of this needs to form as part of one structure and one strategy. Everybody needs to work together. I think also something very important is as time has evolved, the 4 Ps of marketing is sitting in completely different departments. So you need to find a way of bringing that all together again so that everybody can collaborate.
Final question, Paul. Do you think brands and marketers ever become future fit, or the moment they think they're future fit, you know, the next challenge is on the
I definitely think they can. The reason I started this company 5 years ago is because I saw a huge knowledge gap around understanding technology. But what you can do is put in place the process and the structure that will allow you to take on board any new technology, whatever that's going to be, if it's augmented reality or whatever it's going to be next. Knowing how to deal with new tech when it comes into your business in the right way will allow you to make better decisions about which ones to engage with.
And don't be afraid of technology. It's there to help you.
Absolutely not.
No technophobia, only techniques.
Folks, thanks very much for joining us. Next on the programme, finding the funny in insurance advertising and award-winning creative work from a local washing powder brand.